Hi, guys. Welcome back to The Struggle with Candice Thompson. I am Candice Thompson. And thank you for joining me today. If you are one of my loyal listeners, I thank you and want to let you know from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate your patronage. And if you are a new listener, welcome. This podcast is a show where I invite my friends on and we talk about the struggles of adulting life because it's very challenging on most days. If you're not struggling on a daily basis, then you're not an adult. That's all I have to say. So I hope we can make you laugh on this podcast. That's the ultimate goal. If you cry, I ain't got nothing to do with that. All right, guys. If you haven't subscribed to our podcast, who's we? Who is this we situation? It's just me. If you haven't subscribed to my podcast, make sure you do that. You are on all podcast platforms. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, make sure you do that. We're there. Also, rate and review us on iTunes. And last but not least, if you haven't told somebody about the podcast and you're listening to The Struggle regularly, you're not doing anybody any favors. So go ahead and tell somebody about The Struggle. Now, you can find me on all social media at Jokes by Candice and CandiceThompsonComedy.com. And I'm also going to plug Lights Out with David Spade on Comedy Central. I'm writing on that show, and you should watch it because it's very funny, and I love it. Now, I'm going to introduce my hilarious and talented friend, Chelsea Devantez.
Hi.
Hey, boo, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. I hate when people have to sit there while I do that. Was it
really?
okay? Was it traumatic?
I thought it was beautiful, and it flowed so well, but you could see you were breathing new life into each word.
That I'm telling you, it's my nightmare. I do not like talking when I don't know that someone is receiving it. And even though I know this is a podcast,
Yeah,
I don't.
That's what podcasting is.
It is, but I know people are out there, but in this moment, because it's just us right now, I feel like I'm talking to nobody. And so I just get awkward and I stumble over words and my armpits start tingling.
Well, maybe that happened, but the rest of it looked really great.
Do you ever get the armpit tingle?
I don't get armpit tingles, but I'll get tingles on my hands or on my. But armpit tingles. What is that?
Tingles.
Is that just like sweat wanting to emerge?
Yes.
But you've held it back with deodorant or something.
But it does. I use natural deodorant now.
Like one of those rocks.
Here's why.
Feedback on this.
Here's why.
Choice, by the way. Have you checked in with someone who's like, this is okay?
Actually, yes. I haven't gotten any complaints about my body odor.
No, I didn't say complaints. I said feedback. You don't know who's swallowing it and been like,
you're right.
Oh man, I hope she finds real deodorant again.
I'm pretty close to people in the writer's room because of just like there's a table and it's a large table, but it's like not when there's 11 people sitting around the table. Right. It becomes, substantially a small table. And so I should probably check in with the people that sit next to me, but I think I'm okay. I'm pretty good with gauging my own odor.
Yeah,
I think so.
That's good.
I think so.
Not everyone's good at that.
Not everyone is good at that. Yeah. I hugged somebody the other day, and I was like,
"So has someone told them?" And here's the thing: you didn't tell them, right?
No,
and you just never know when that could be you.
And you're right. And so what is when are you okay to tell somebody about their body odor? Is that something you could tell somebody that you're not friends with?
Oh no, I'm like you belong to someone else and they'll have to tell you.
Someone else loves you.
But someone else loves you, I hope they'll have to let you know. But anyone I love, anyone I deeply care about, I can be like, I love you so much. But if I don't love you, you're not.
Then you're not going to hear it from me. And I could have told this person. She's not like one of my really good friends, but I've hung out with her enough, and I'm like, maybe I should.
But you know that it's a consistent thing. What if it was a one-off?
I've smelled it twice now.
Yeah, you got to tell her.
Should we call her on the
single?
podcast?
Yeah, she do prank calls on this podcast.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I can do that.
You don't know if you can tell her. What is she single?
She is single.
Okay, what if you're apart? You not telling her, and if she doesn't want to be
so
single,
you're blaming this on me?
I'm saying
what
now,
if she's single now because of you, Candice? Because you didn't tell her about her body odor.
Yeah, I would say you own 5% of that pie.
Oh man, what about her other friends that she sees more regularly?
They all own it as well.
Yeah, so I had to.
You got a piece.
I only see her maybe like maybe 4 times a year.
Oh.
See what I'm saying?
No,
like, we're cool.
I don't know. Yeah, now it's not years anymore. That's not someone you're. Okay. I don't think so.
Yeah, okay.
Although,
Whew.
if you see her 4 times a year and 2 of the times that's 50%.
That's her.
That's
steak,
too
her
high.
steak average is 50%.
Too high.
All right. So here's the thing. If the next time I see her and I smell it, I'm going to tell another friend of hers that is a better friend. The other friend that I know of hers is like one of her best friends.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell her.
And would that person be able to tell her without saying, Candice pulled me aside. Both of us talked about how you smell like shit behind your back.
Can't guarantee that.
So I don't know if I would take that risk either.
Oh, but here's also the problem with that also is the friend that's one of her really good friends that could tell her this can't smell that well. So if she tells her, so I don't think she smelled it. I think I'm the only one.
How do you know she can't smell well?
Because she's all her life she's had issues with smelling stuff.
And that's why it's her best friend.
Maybe.
Oh my God.
Also, she doesn't live here anymore, so she doesn't have to smell her regularly.
How bad was the smell?
It was body odor. It was I don't think there's levels of body. Like, to me, once I smell BO, it's as bad as the worst BO I've ever smelled. It's all the same to me.
I think you got to go in like the comedian you are. And the next time you see her, be like, oh, girl, we got a deodorant now? And be like, oh. And then when
a joke about it?
Yeah, and then when she's hurt, you be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was being so funny. But do you want to talk about it? Yeah.
Chelsea's trying to get me stabbed. I think that's what's happening here.
I mean, I don't know her. Doesn't matter what happens.
I don't care what happens to you, Candice.
That's hard.
It is hard.
That's really hard.
I'm going to mull it over a little bit.
I've had a dude friend. I had a dude friend who was talking about this girl, and he liked her so much, he couldn't wait to meet her. And then he met her, and he was like, oh, I'm just, like, not that into her. And I was like, what happened? I'm trying to get a reason. On behalf of all women, I'm there being like, what
happened?
Was it? Yeah. Like, and I'm trying. Finally, he's like, I feel like a jerk saying this, but she smelled bad. And I was like, no one's telling her. Like,
someone has to tell her.
I was just like, you get back on that app. You swipe into I was like, get away from her, leave her alone. Let her be. But what if someone was not telling you, and here you are being like, I don't know why I can't find someone, and every man is going home being like, you smell like patchouli or whatever. Yeah,
no, I agree. And look, I am the first person. I've talked about this before. Like, when someone has something in their teeth, or something hanging from their face, I will tell them, because I have been on the the receiving end of broccoli and spinach in my tooth, kale tooth, right? Mm-hmm. I had a booger one time in my nose.
And no one told you?
One of my best friends.
Didn't tell you?
Didn't tell me.
Did you demote them?
At the time, I was so young at the time. I was probably like 20 years old when this happened, and I didn't even know about that. Who your real friends? We hang around people we have fun with, and then we ignore certain things.
Sure.
And she's a cool person, but if someone do that shit now,
you'd be like, you're out.
You don't care about me.
Yeah, you don't love me.
I had a booger.
Don't care about what happens to me in my life.
A full-on wet booger.
Oh,
we were swimming.
Oh no.
And it was
dangling.
That's rude. And her boyfriend had to tell me. You know how embarrassing that was? I'd been talking to people for like 20 minutes.
This is not okay. I hope you excommunicated her.
No, I didn't at the time.
You should. Does she listen? You're out.
And if you know who you are, Deshaun Stallworth. That's her name. But she doesn't live. That's her full name. She doesn't live. We don't see. I saw her for the first time. She came to one of my shows in D.C. last December, and that was the first time I had seen her in probably 15 years. So we're not in contact anymore. We're still fine, but yeah, it's just she's married. Or no, she's not married, but she got kids and stuff.
Whatever.
We're leading 2 different lives. Anyway, she's still probably not telling people about their snot.
Yeah.
Still out in the streets letting people run around with snot in their noses and not telling them.
I once chased a woman down the block who had a.
I just remember we have not plugged anything.
For me?
Finish the story, and then we'll tell your social media.
I once chased a woman down the street whose dress was unzipped. And I literally put a jog into it. Like, I got a little out of breath. I was like, and halfway through I was like, I should bail, but I was like, I'm almost there. It's the right thing to do.
I already started sweating.
I finally get to her. I'm like, hey, your dress is unzipped. She looks me dead in the eye and she goes, no, it's not. Turns around. As she walks away, I realize it's like a fashion choice. The dress is made that way. But she wore a bra. Like, it was literally like the dress folded open, but then she wore a bra through it. And you could tell that in that morning she'd been like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to wear a bra with the dress. And then I chased her down and was like, you look wrong. And she was like,
I did this on purpose.
Exactly.
That's the worst though, because then she really thought she was doing something.
She thought she could. I think she thought she could get away with it. She was like, "It'll be cute."
So it was a zipper,
or it was like the dress open and it like folded open, so it had two little flaps. Open,
yeah. But it was
had
supposed
a bra
to do
through
that.
the middle, so it looked like those flaps were supposed to
like close.
But look, I feel for her. She was like, I gotta wear a bra with this dress. I'm just gonna let it show. Maybe no strange women will run me down and yell at me.
And Chelsea just thought she was doing somebody a solid.
Thought I was being so sweet.
And now you made somebody insecure about their fashion choices.
Yeah. Well, I hope she's still thinking about it. She was very rude. Okay, plug my stuff.
Social media, anything.
Okay.
You're a writer on
Bless This Mess.
Bless This Mess.
On ABC.
ABC.
Starring Lake Bell and Dake Shepard. Lake Bell and Dax Shepard.
So make sure to watch that.
Make sure to watch it. It's so funny, but it's also like feel good and sweet, and it's not.
We need more of that.
Yeah, and it takes place in the Midwest, and I've lived in Chicago, but I'm mostly from the Southwest. But I love shows that are about places that are not,
LA,
or
New York, Chicago.
But Chicago shows, I'm like, there's not enough of those. I'm still in Chicago, but like, I'm done with LA. I'm done with New York.
For sure, because the people that come out of there, it's like enough already.
We get it.
We know you live these abundant lives. You rich sons of bitches, and you're self-absorbed. That's all it is.
Yes,
Is it?
100%.
It's like we need. That's not most of the country.
It's not most of the country. It wasn't my life before I got here. Became one of them. No. Yes, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chelsea Devantez, and you can Google how to spell it.
It's phonetically spelled.
If you want it, go get it. Okay.
Prove it.
Work for it.
Prove it. All right.
Those are my plugs.
I'm sorry, my ear is itching. It's
No, it's
good.
good.
I want to complain about
headphones on it.
This is so much. It's one of my many struggles this week at these headphones, this heat. I complain all the time. My place doesn't have air conditioning.
What?
Just FYI.
Have you put in a unit?
I cannot. My windows are they're old and they don't work that way that you can attach. I have to rig the whole thing.
And you can't make your landlord do it?
I don't know how to do. And our building just got sold, so I'm gonna have to talk to the new person in charge to see. But yeah, it's a whole thing. No, it's a whole thing.
How are you living?
It's interesting because I'm not at home during the day anymore, really. So by the time the night comes, it cools off. So I'm usually not just hanging out in my apartment anyway, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But still, there are nights where the lingering heat from the day is still there. So it's a little, but I do have a lot of fans.
Okay, good.
So that works.
Good. I hope you have like 35.
I do have like 35 fans. So that's
too much.
I know it's a lot. My baby hair be curling up. Anyway.
The heat style in your hair.
So my real struggle this week is I'm just realizing how bad my attention span is getting over the past probably 4 months or so. Like,
whoa.
Yeah, and it's not my memory. It's just I get bored with things very easily, and I just have a hard time when someone starts talking.
You leave.
Yes.
Immediately, unless they're
What
like.
if I just got up and walked out of the
I would love it.
I just have I have to keep reminding myself, Candice, pay attention.
And do you think it's that cliche phone thing, like our phones ruined us?
No, because I think my attention has always been an issue. Maybe the
Okay.
phone stuff has made it worse.
Okay.
Maybe. But I think I might have an attention disorder. And I think I have a few disorders that I was never diagnosed
you always had ADD?
I think so.
You know what's underdiagnosed in women?
What is?
ADD. ADD
Why?
and ADHD.
Why just for us?
I actually do have it's 20% theory, 80% you could find it online, but all medical studies are done on white men, And so, and all our medical science was built on it. So it's like back in, I don't know, 1920s when we're like, we think we can be doctors or whatever. And they're doing these medical studies that we've built all the rest of our medicine on. All the test subjects are white male. So the norm is white male. So then when you differ racially or you differ your gender,
it doesn't necessarily apply.
it doesn't apply, or it could be a little weird, or because they're always saying the norm is them. And so, you know, the way you would test and find ADD and medicate it is all to white men. So, like, let's say it shows up differently in women, or there's different signs or symptoms, or they'll report this, blah, blah, blah. That's not in our database. They're starting to now try and rectify it, but... So that is probably why. That said, I just heard it on, like, an article. I heard it on an article. I heard it on something.
You read it here on this podcast.
You read it right here. Everybody's reading.
I did hear something similar on the radio about like a similar thing about when you are of another ethnicity. I didn't hear about the gender thing, but they said that if you are another ethnicity, because they base everything off of white men, that they just do like a median for if you're another race. They'll say, well, white men are this, and I think actually it's white and black, I think, are the two most popular ones.
Okay.
So they say if you're
the
not
two
white.
Most popular ethnicities.
Popular ethnicities. To do studies on the white and black. And then they say that if you are another, they'll just do like a median of the two. And it's like, that's so not accurate.
Wild.
That's so
wild.
not accurate at all.
Wow, that's scary shit.
Yeah.
So anyways, you might have ADD.
And you know what? It's one of those things where I don't care to get tested. Like, I don't.
Really?
I've
What
lived
if it
this,
changed your whole life?
And with what, though? What are they going to do?
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
Can they fix it?
Yeah.
With what? I don't want to take
Medicine.
I don't want to take medicine. I don't know.
Do you want them to put it in a crystal and you can swallow the crystal every morning?
That sounds more natural.
No, I'm very hippie as well. My mom's very hippie, so I get all that. Whenever I like go Western medicine, a big thing in my life, I always check in with Eastern medicine and like hippies and shit. So like if I'm in the doctor's office, I'm also in a sage circle.
Yes.
But I'm getting both sides.
Yes.
I'm bringing them both in. It sounds like you're just taking one in.
Yeah, no, I'll take if it requires me. If I have like an infection or something, I'll go to a doctor and they'll give me antibiotics and I'll take it. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if it's something like ADD, where it's like there's no solution for it and I just have to keep taking medication for the rest of my life, I don't want any part of
Maybe
that.
because
there's no solution. That's just like it's just a temporary fix for something.
It wouldn't be. It'd be permanent because you'd take it till you
But I don't
die.
want. But it's not permanent to me. It would be like you have a surgery or you do something and then it's fixed without you having to take something the rest of your life.
But I will say, I sound like I'm a pharmaceutical rep right now. But I would say I get that the logic in your heart adds up. But like logically, like a surgery because what? Because you have to be cut open for someone to be permanent.
And
like
let's also I would not have the surgery to get it done because I just would be like,
surgery's fucking scary.
I wouldn't do that.
Do you have trouble starting projects?
Kind of.
You might have ADD. One of the biggest things is that it looks like procrastination, and then they'll be like, "Whoops, it was ADD."
This whole entire time.
Yeah. What if? Yeah. I mean, and look, I don't have tons of personal experience with people who have ADD and getting medication, getting better or whatever. But I don't know. What if it changed your life and tomorrow you're like, I wrote 9 screenplays. I now have 12 podcasts. More podcasts. Oh, more podcasts gets you.
More podcasts. More podcasts. More fun.
I'll take trust for more podcasts.
Let's be clear. Nobody needs more podcasts. Nobody. I'm just going to go ahead. General rule of thumb in this world, we don't need any more podcasts. But there's probably something to that. Yeah, I would like something that helps me be more productive. But at the same time, if I have to take a pill, I'd rather just not.
You'd rather just struggle through it. Yes. Forever.
Because I've already done it. I've already been struggling.
This is
the name of my podcast, right?
Yeah.
I've already been struggling. And that's the thing is because I also think I have mild dyslexia.
Oh.
Which I was never diagnosed with because I think that when my brain just does what it does with letters on a page, I just fix it and then I keep it moving. And it just might take me longer to read something and my comprehension, which I've also complained about on this podcast, because my comprehension I feel like is getting worse. So like I feel like once you've been told something, you then have excuses to be bad at something as opposed to just working on it and fixing it yourself.
Okay, I'm going to take a hard stance against what you said.
You
And-
should.
and this is for
There was
one-
nothing correct about what I just
Well,
said.
because you know what? Because I would have agreed with you. That's why I would have agreed with you a year ago. But I don't know if you guys heard, but I'm a TV writer and I can afford a therapist now. So I've had a therapist for a year.
For the television
and-
jobs.
Oh my God! Thank you, television job, for getting me a therapist.
I mean, it's life-changing.
Truly life changing. But when you know the specific thing you are suffering with, there's actual science and tools that they can then give you that you can actively apply. So if you, but you know what I mean? Like, let's say.
I love that you have to explain this to me.
But
It's
no,
so
because
funny.
what your thing is like, okay, if they were like, oh, you're depressed, that you could be like, well, technically, I've been diagnosed with depression, so like, I'm not gonna get better. Yeah, that could happen.
Yes.
But also, they could be like, you're depressed. You know, it seems like you're being triggered by crowds. You could do some breathing exercises in crowds, and then that person could, you know, go to Target.
Oh yeah,
Which
you're
has some happiness.
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But
Yeah.
this is just me being insubordinate and obstinate.
Okay, let me say this. What if you, what
Yes.
if you found out you had ADD, took medication for it, and you came on this podcast and you're like, you guys, my life is no longer a struggle.
I have to quit this
I have to
podcast. And you
And
know
the
that
whole
could,
time was just,
that
yeah.
could subconsciously be a reason for not, because
Yeah.
then it's like
Totally.
if it is, and it's a whole thing with like comedians and like the whole comedy coming from pain, and so that's why none of us want to really be happy, because we think, if I'm happy, will I stop being funny?
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
so it could be just a cycle of just a pattern of staying in
Self-sabotage
correct
so you can
in
actually
pain.
succeed
Yeah.
comedically. Yeah, I mean,
That's real.
Yeah, that is real.
Have we just diagnosed me?
You have comedian ADD.
Dysmorphia.
Dysmorphia.
I also have body dysmorphia, but I'll save that for another.
Oh my God, do you
episode.
walk around being like, I'm ugly, and everyone has to be like, you're the hottest woman
No,
alive?
no, I don't think I'm ugly. I'm not blind.
No, but truly, thank God.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Thank
that.
God. There is nothing worse than anyone, like a tall person being like, I'm not tall. And you're like, yes, you are. Like, shut up.
You're just doing this for attention or for
Yeah.
whatever reason. Oh, really quickly, because we need to get into your struggles, but I just have to shout this show out because what we just did reminded me of something from there. Have you watched What We Do in the Shadows?
I have. I watched
The movie?
pilot. The movie
The-
and the
and the
pilot.
pilot?
Yeah.
So you know there's an emotional vampire that's in the
Yes.
house, which I think was
just
brilliant.
love.
So if you
Just
guys,
love.
if you don't know the show, it's so funny. It's based off What We Do in the Shadows, the movie, but it's the premise of the show is there's 4 vampires sharing a flat in Staten Island, and they're being followed by a documentary crew. So it's like the real world for vampires, and it's so stupid, and it just speaks to me. But they have a guy that's not a real vampire in the house. He's an emotional vampire, which I
That's
thought was
great.
brilliant.
So great. And it's not in the movie.
No,
a
it's not in the
CGI,
movie.
it's
They
great.
threw that in, and it was just a nice little, okay, some nuance to this. And it just reminded me of what we were just talking about, the people that just suck you dry because they just want
Yeah.
compliments and they just want
Oh my God. Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not doing with my body dysmorphia. No, I don't think I'm ugly, but I don't think I look like the way other people see me. I
you
do.
Don't. What do you?
I just think
how
I
do
look.
you know what other people think? Are they out here drawing you, and you're like,
Yes.
nah.
Yes. yes.
And
And
on
I'm
the
like,
street, I'm
that's
like,
not me.
Let me draw a portrait of you, and you're like, who is that?
Who is this supermodel? And they're like, that's you. And I'm like, oh, it is not.
So wait, you don't think you're ugly? You just don't think you're as hot as you
other
are?
people do.
Oh my God! Get out of here! Get out of here! Maybe why instead of dysmorphia, why don't you just be like humility?
Is that what it is? It's not body dysmorphia?
I mean, you're okay. You're like, you guys. I know I'm not ugly, but I don't know deep in my core that I'm as hot as I actually am.
Here's the thing: is I don't. I would not describe myself as hot. Is that humility or is that
What would you describe yourself as?
cute?
That's still nice.
Yeah, it's
Many
nice.
people would die to be cute.
Yeah.
But you would never, you never, get dressed up and put on a dress and you're like, I look hot.
Maybe sometimes it has to be a really sexy dress, though.
Do you have really strict beauty standards for other people? Like, are you looking
I
at
do.
some supermodels and being like, not you, bitch?
I do. I've been told that my standards are very high for aesthetics. Like,
wow.
I've been told. Like,
Yeah.
I have a friend that, because who did I said some model. It was some like Victoria's Secret. This was years ago. And I was like, I don't think she's cute. And my friend was like, you don't think anybody's cute? And I was like, do I?
Well,
Like,
then maybe
do I
that's what it is. You're a judgmental bitch, and the
I am
judgment is still
judgmental.
there when you look in the mirror.
You
Yeah.
solving all my problems today, Chelsea.
I'm gonna get you on medication. Okay. There's someone out here listening to this right now, be like, why is that girl such a pill popper?
Why is she pushing?
Why is she pushing?
Because I had Chelsea Pfizer Devantez come on my show today.
Oh yeah, it's sponsored by Pfizer today. I honestly don't even know if meds work. I just think maybe.
I'm sure some people need them.
Yeah.
I for sure believe people who have like chemical imbalances.
That is what
Who are-
ADD is. What do you think it is? Just like a fun whim? It's a chemical imbalance in your brain. What did you think it was?
But I don't want to commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one
But
of those people.
that's not what.
I
what are you
know.
talking about?
I'm saying I don't think mine
they're
is
like,
as
hey,
severe.
we know you're ADD, but we're gonna give you medication for suicide. You're like, no, I have ADD, and I'm not as hot as I actually am.
What I'm saying is that what I think I have is not as severe as that I would need to take something for it.
You should test yourself.
How? Is there an ADD test online?
Yeah.
I took an autism test not too long ago.
How'd you score?
I'm actually not bad. It was on a scale of up to from 1 to 50, and like they said, the range of like on the spectrum is like around 30. I was 14.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
And that's different than an Asperger's test, correct?
I guess so.
I think Asperger's is 100.
Is a
I know.
specific
It's
one.
it's 160 questions or something.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I did not. I wouldn't have the attention span for that. Sorry, but my ADD's gotten in the way of me figuring out whether or not I have Asperger's. I don't got time for this.
I think the ADD questionnaire is like 20 questions. I think it could get more intense, but you could just do the basic 20, and if you were, 75% of that, it'd be worth looking into.
Meanwhile, I started, and then 5 weeks later, the
box
page is still
empty.
open. It's unfinished. Yeah, I think I have it. All right, moving on from me, because this
Okay.
is not why we came here today. We came here today, Chelsea, to talk about your struggles.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. What are you struggling with?
Okay, one thing that I struggle with is I don't have any mid-level anger. So I'm not angry, or we can fight.
You're all the anger.
Or yeah.
Or
Or it's
we
just
can
like,
fight.
let's take this outside. Like, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to die for this, But I don't have healthy levels of just like, I'm mad and, and it's okay to work through it. I'm just like 0 or 100.
Yeah.
And it's a bummer.
So has this affected, I'm assuming this has affected all of your relationships, from like family members to people you date to traffic incidents where you've got road rage?
Yeah, I mean, it mostly affects, the times when it mostly comes out weirdly is business. Because business, you have to be so professional all the time.
Yes.
So I'm just constantly like, okay, and then one day I'm like,
Because you've bottled it up for so long.
for so long, and then I'm a 10, and then I can't come back, and like I can't come back down, and then it not so much anymore because I just don't drink as much anymore. But I used to, when we were like having drinking nights.
Drinking nights.
You know what I mean? Where you're like going hard all night. Or like I performed at Second City for a long time, and there was like a 4 a.m. bar across the street in Chicago.
Oh.
So like we'd wrap a show at like 1
then
a.m.,
let's
have a
just
drink
go.
there. Then so by
Yeah.
the time you're like 4 in the morning, I would be like, I mean, I remember a dude calling another one of my friends a bitch, and I was like, let's go,
She's like,
and he
pulled
was
out my
already down the
knife.
street, and I'm like, we got to get him. And
Like,
everyone's
no.
like, no.
Just let it go.
And all the men with us are like, oh, come on. Like, you're not going to have to do this.
That's exactly.
Like,
Every time a woman starts screaming at a man that they don't know, the men
Uh,
that are with you are like, now we gonna have to fight this fight for
but,
you.
but I'm like, please no. Like, no, it's me. You'll just have to watch and feel bad.
Yeah. I'll handle it.
Yeah, I got this. But yeah, but then it's a bummer because it's like, oh, if I had just been able to get some mid-level anger in there, people could have been like, oh, we better change, or
Right.
better whatever. And instead, they're just like, she seems cute. And then they're like, oh my God. It's like, it's always a surprise for people. They're like, I didn't know you
It comes
had
out of
the-"
nowhere.
Yeah.
So when would you say that you first started noticing your anger being an issue? Were you like a kid
God.
or like in high school?
Yes. Okay. So, well, here's a recent incident. So, you love hippie shit. So,
Yes.
we went to an iridologist.
Yeah. I was talking to Yasser
Yes,
about
yeah,
this.
Yasser and I went. Yeah.
Yeah, when he came on, because he co-hosted with me
Okay,
a few months ago, and we talked because I'm super into
Yeah. I mean, it's truly
health,
fascinating.
and I've never had it done, but I want to get it done.
Well, look, if you look up iridology, the first thing that'll come up is like quack science. And you're like,
Of
okay,
course.
but here was one of the places in me and Yasser's appointment where I was like, I believe all of it.
Yeah.
Because in the appointment, and
We
yeah.
should explain what
yeah.
iridology is for
So,
people who don't know.
If you haven't listened to the Yasser episode,
This
it
is
is a
correct.
guy who he takes a picture of your eye, like the way at an optometrist, you'd like put your chin in the thing. There's a camera that goes up to your eye. He takes a picture of your eye. He blows it up, and then looking at certain quadrants of your eye, circles, all these things that I don't have the science for, and maybe there's not science. He tells you
Science.
He tells you what's going on in your body, down to like, do you have a cyst? Do you have a cholesterol problem?
Right.
Like things like that, all from your eye.
Very specific.
Very specific. And Yasser and I were there for each other's appointments, and like we did not get the same stuff at all. And one of the places where I was like, oh my God, like I think this is real science is
Your anger.
he was like, you see this little line that goes from the very bottom of your eye to the very top of your eye? And I was like, yeah. And I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
and
you can
he's
see
like,
it.
that's your anger line. He was like, that is not even supposed to leave your pupil. And he was like, is she the angriest woman ever? And he was like, and Yasser was like, yeah.
He's like, I could have told you
Yeah,
that. We didn't
yeah.
need to waste money on this doctor's appointment.
Yeah, and I was like, but and I had been able to see Yasser's eye that did not have a line as big as mine. And he was like, do not make her mad. And I was like, great advice. But also, but I was like, oh shit, like that's some weirdly tangible evidence as to like what.
Yeah, they don't know you.
They don't know.
You had
yeah.
never gone off on the doctor before, and all of a sudden he's telling you
No.
about your anger line.
But I think what's weird is that like I don't go off on people in my relationship. I am a very like, let's, I'm calm, let's talk it out, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Like, I'm not like, what the fuck, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But it is inside my heart. It lives inside my heart. It's thriving.
It's
It's
my
doing
resting
well.
demeanor.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's
dormant.
in there. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't go off. I don't have, but I can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel it. Yeah. 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 Can you look in my eyes and see it?
That's so
Are
funny.
you looking for the line right now?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious.
No, I think it's like he blows your eye up, so it's like there's stuff you can't even see. But yeah, it recently affected. I fired my manager. I don't know if I don't want to get too industry on this podcast because people are like, we don't give a fuck.
No, you
but
can go say whatever you want to. Yeah,
let
these listeners deal with it. All right.
Okay, so when I switched to him, like literally in the first meeting, I was like, hey. Just so we're both clear, I did not let my last managers know when I was upset enough. So when I fired them, it came out very out of the blue for them. And I was like, so in this relationship, I really want to, I'm really going to try and tell you when I'm upset and stuff like that. And he's like, okay, whatever.
And pretended like he'd be fine with it.
Well, no, he even very clearly said, so I've met with managers before, not like I was meeting to work with them, but like I've like been around. I remember this guy being like, I don't work with a lot of women because they cry a lot. And I was like, oh my God, we're not being signed because some other bitch cried. Like,
That's
yes. So I've always
insanity.
I've always had a like, be calm, don't ever get mad, don't ever be emotional. Otherwise, they'll stop working for all of us. I know. It's just like I'm just so tired. This is where the anger.
I don't understand where
is
they
flared
get
up.
this from.
I'm on a podcast saying how angry I am. But no, so I told him, I was like, hey, heads up, I'm not going to cry on you. I'm not going to tell you about my personal life. You're not going to be my therapist. You're like, you really are just going to be my manager.
This is business.
And he was like, you can cry if you need to. You can yell if you need to. Do anything you need to do. And I was like, oh my God, you're the best. I love you. I feel great. Maybe I will.
You're my soul manager.
And and like, this is great. And so like one thing happened, and I was like, that kind of made me mad, you know, or like it didn't go well, and then it turned into anger. And then another thing happened, and I was like, that kind of made me mad. Then a third thing happened, and all of a sudden, all my like little like, no, I'm fine, I was mad about.
Yeah.
And it hit all. So anyways, so I was like, it's hard expressing mid-level anger. So I was like, I know, I'll put it in an email.
That'll work.
That'll be, just a business, bullet point, but I can get all my emotions out. I won't feel like choked up on the phone, but I'll be able to express myself because I told him in the beginning, I'm going to let you know when I'm upset, as we both agreed on.
Right.
So I send this email. The first part of the email is like, this went wrong, and here's what I know. This went wrong. Here's what I know. This went wrong. Here's what I know. Smaller, big things or whatever.
Oh,
and then
no.
the second half of the email was what I thought was like, a rousing call to action. like just, here's where I'm at in my life. And he always on the phone would be like, hey, like, chill out. Like, you're doing great. People would kill to have this career. Like, you need to relax. I'm like, no, it's going fine.
Yeah.
And so, like, chill out, you're doing fine. Chill out, you're doing fine. Chill out, you're doing fine. So in the email, I was like, I don't want to be told to chill out and that I'm doing fine ever again. I know I'm doing fine, and I'm never going to chill out. But no exclamation point. But it's true. That is just the truth about me. I will never chill out. If you're looking for a client to, like, get a job and chill, like, it's not me.
Yeah, that's
like,
not me.
I get a job. I start 4 other jobs. Like, I'm not going to chill
ever
out.
Ever a chilling type person.
Telling me to chill out. Also, like, I'm offering you frenetic money. Like, I'm a psycho who wants to work. I don't want to chill out. Like, that's money.
Yeah, no, you want people that want to work and the hustle.
Yeah, and so anyways, so that's what, I put all in the email. And, apparently my email came across stronger than I intended it to.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, I feel like when the intent is to diffuse our feelings and we're like, oh, I'm going to send an email.
I'm going to type it. No.
Everything, your emotions still come out, and because we're emotional in when we're writing it, we don't see it clearly.
Yeah.
You need to have like fresh eyes.
Yes.
Read it before a draft of it before you send it, because
it's I thought it'd be good. I was like, now it's in writing. Now we can go over it like a business memo. No. And I even sent it to friends. I said, is this too much? Is this wild? And they were like, no. It sounds like you really mean what you say.
Oh, so you did have other people.
I had it
okay.
checked. Maybe I didn't have the right people.
Maybe they were also as angry.
I mean, maybe. Because, so, I sent an email that was, probably at a 10. I'm too afraid to go back and read it. It was probably a 10. And I got on the phone at a 3. Because, I'm back to nothing.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to just kind of express in that mid-level. So now I'm just like, great, I said it, let's talk. Well, I think he got on the phone at a 10, expecting a 10, but I was not there anymore. And so he was just like, I can't blah. And I was like,
Hilarious.
And male anger, I'm bad with it. It's just from growing up. Like angry men, it's just like hide behind a thing.
Right.
And so he got mad, and I was like, like, oh my God, I'm gonna go hide. And meanwhile, he's like, bitch, you're the one who fucking sent the email.
You started this.
You started this. You did this. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
I did.
And so, so then I was just like, yeah, I guess we're done.
And that's it? So
Yeah.
that phone conversation was the end of the relationship?
Yeah, and what sucks is that I'm happy. I think it's probably the best for the both of us. I don't think we're a good match, but I think he's like great and such a phenomenal manager. I wish I could have had a normal like, hey, this isn't really working for me, blah, blah, blah. But instead, I was at a 10.
Yeah.
I ended the phone call. So he was like, blah, blah, blah. And then I just went, okay, well, I'll see you when I see you. And I hung
And you hung up.
Yes. I was
Is
like,
there a part of you that regrets any of that?
oh, all of it.
All of it.
All of it. All of it. All of it. But it's this weird thing where, like, I can't operate in the mid-level, so I never had it in me to be like, hey, I'm upset. It's kind of feeling like we're not a match.
Yeah.
It's just probably better to, like, part ways and move on at this point. Like, it's, like, missing from my body. Like, all I had was, like, things were fine, and, like, how could this happen?
How could you do this
See
to
you
me?
never, motherfucker.
Next thing you know, I'm setting somebody's house on fire.
know.
And yada, yada, yada. Yeah.
Have you set someone else on?
No.
You never know.
You never know.
Sometimes it needs to be done.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I was just talking, and I don't know if you've had instances where you've dated somebody and, like, as a scorned woman just did something. I have never done that before. Like,
Yeah.
and a part of me kind of wishes a part of me was, like, crazy like that. Not to set somebody's house on fire,
No,
but
left
just for
eye
the
stuff.
stories. Just for, like,
Yeah.
I've never stalked a guy.
Oh,
Like, I've
no.
never
Oh, no.
sat outside somebody's house or keyed a dude. I've never even keyed a dude's car.
Oh my! Are you?
Which I
are
feel
you
like is
kidding
basic
me?
level.
I am
Revenge.
I'm way too afraid of men to do that. Are you? I mean, I would never have it. I definitely have the, like, fuck off. I've
Oh,
left
that.
people and I've been like, fuck off.
Yeah, for sure.
But I could never go up and key a car because what if he has a gun?
we think of consequences, and
Yes.
I always am like, or security cameras. Like, what if I get? I'm always
Totally.
thinking of consequence. I was
Yeah.
the responsible person even before I was supposed to be responsible. I blame
Yeah.
my parents for being so responsible. But, like, in college, where, like, friends are throwing up and getting face down drunk, I'm like, that's a bad idea,
idea,
guys. We
yeah.
probably shouldn't.
We probably shouldn't
Yeah,
do that.
yeah, that was me. So,
Yeah.
but I can't say that I've got anger issues like that. But do you regret? Would you say that whenever you've blown up, do you regret most of them? Or all of them?
No.
Or have any of them
only
been
regret,
justified?
I only regret half of them.
Okay.
And half of them,
Okay.
I'm like, I'm so glad you experienced that. And honestly, I'm going to circle back and do it again at some point when you're not
If
expecting
you
it.
don't check yourself.
Because you deserve it again.
Can I hear a story of one of those times?
One of those times. Let me try and think of one. Well, I can think of one that I do regret.
Yes, I would like
I'll
to.
do a regret first.
Yeah.
So that's the one that came to mind.
Yeah.
So again, the powers of alcohol. So
That's why I don't drink really much anymore.
Yeah.
I don't really drink at all. It has to be like a celebration, and I'm like, okay, I'll have some wine or something like that. But
yeah. Okay, yeah, exactly. I've gone down. I'm just like, no, I just like it's small. But look, I was a comedian doing live shows, 8 shows a week, and for tourists, an hour-long of improv night. I was drinking for sure. Oh, and I performed on a cruise ship where wine,
oh god,
bottles of wine are $1.
you have to stay drunk
We stayed drunk. I was just drunk the
to
whole
get through the
time.
cruise.
Yes, 100%. So this guy tried to wingman his friend so hard that he kind of ended up, like, locking me in a hotel room with him. Because I was like, I'm leaving. There's 3 of us in there. And I was like, I'm going to peace out. But he could tell that his friend wanted to hook up. And so the way he, like, exited and, like, closed the door was sort of like to leave me there. Yeah. And I did.
And did you know these people, or these
Yeah,
were
I knew them. I won't add too much.
I need names.
I know you did a full name.
I did
at
Deshaun
like 5 minutes
Stallworth.
in. I was like, oh my god, what full name?
She's not gonna listen to this.
Um,
You know what you did, Deshaun.
You know what you did.
Anyway.
I'll fight her. I'll fight her. I will. Shouldn't I? Will.
That was 20 years ago, and Chelsea's
I'll
like,
kill her. Let's go. You listening?
I heard what you did with Candice's booger.
Which is nothing.
So stupid. You did nothing.
you did nothing.
This is the wrong thing to do when a friend has a booger. Anyway,
Okay, so
back to your story.
this guy. So I mean, like 10 minutes after he left, I was like, and now I'm still leaving. Whatever. Made my way out, but I was really mad at him because he was
Yeah.
supposed to be a friend of mine, and I was like, that was fucked up. And so apparently, I got drunk. And I yelled at him. I went in on him, just like blah 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 blah. And the most sober thought I have from that night was him saying to me, "You have already done this before." I had already yelled at him before, like
When?
another drunk time. I sound like an alcoholic. I'm really Everyone's like,
what did
I'm
we
not
learn
enough.
from Chelsea? Pills?
Pills,
And liquor.
alcohol. No, like, you know, because there's all these like comedian parties or whatever. But the moment he said it to me, I was like, I did. Oh yeah, I did. I did. Because I did. But this motherfucker had the reason I kept going back. I kept being like, I gotta give him another piece of my mind.
Yeah, I'm not done.
After the first time, he was so like, he's like, whatever, chill out. People, blah, blah, blah. He was like, he goes, get a dad. And look, I've tried. I tried to get a dad. It didn't work out. So what he said, it was true. Like, maybe had I had a dad, I wouldn't try and like.
That's some rude
shit.
shit.
But it's some rude shit, and it was so real. It was so accurate. And so every time I was around him, I was like, I gotta yell at this motherfucker again.
Yeah.
You be my dad.
Like, first of all, getting a dad, it's not that easy.
It's not that easy. It's
You
a little
say
too late. I'm
get
old.
a dad.
Like, I'm old now. You're not gonna dad me. You know, and it was just, get a dad. I was like, yeah, I should. If I had a dad, I probably
wanted one my whole entire life.
I wanted one. I tried. I probably wouldn't be in a hotel room with you and your bitch ass friend.
If I had a dad.
If I'd had a fucking dad.
To begin with, I'd have better taste.
Yes. True. I might not be a comedian hanging out.
Oh, no, I have a great father, and I'm still.
Oh, and you're here.
Absolutely.
Well, hey. So, dads, you affect nothing.
You're pointless. You should leave, all of you. So wait, now I'm like, because I didn't know you didn't have a dad.
Yeah.
Was he ever in your life or no?
Oh my God. Oh, this is too intense of a story. It is. But yeah, I had my. I thought I had a dad, and then when I was 15, I found out he was not my real dad. Yeah, but it wasn't like he was in my life till I was 15. He was just like horrible and no longer in my life. Like starting at 4 years old, and then just getting increasingly gone.
But this is the guy that wasn't your actual father.
Yeah, and then it was like, nah, he's not your real dad.
Yeah, so
and
it's
I was like, but I'd already been like, my dad hates me for 15 years. And so then when he wasn't my real dad, I was like, that's dope. Like, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, and at least
what a
his
happy
genes.
ending.
Right.
Yeah, and but yeah.
Well, we have a surprise today for you. We have a guest. Please, Chelsea's deck.
I'll kill you.
And then we see her anger skyrocket.
I know. People this whole episode are probably like, why is she so mad? Why is she so mad? And then I just told this story, and they're like, no, I guess. I get to be a little mad.
You deserve to be.
I deserve to be a little mad.
You didn't have a dad, and you were treated poorly by a man who wasn't. If anyone had a right to treat you poorly, it would be a real father.
Yeah.
Like, not you.
Well,
some strange dude.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
like,
no.
you don't have the right to treat me poorly.
Truly.
You're not even my real dad.
You're not even my real dad. I know.
And you couldn't even say that for the first, 15, because that's such a great stepdad line.
The moment I found out he was not my real dad, I was like, goodbye forever.
Yeah, peace.
Goodbye forever. Yeah, I haven't spoken to him since.
Yeah, no.
Isn't that wild?
Oh,
poor me. I'm so sad. Send me money on Venmo. I'm just kidding. Lots of people don't have dads.
Lots of people.
So many people don't have dads.
Some of them, a lot of them have them, and they're trash.
Oh my God!
Ones that stay.
Some people don't have mom. Like, it's fine. There's so many of us.
Everyone has baggage.
Oh
I
my
feel
God,
like we're all feral animals that have so many issues.
Yeah.
That's why when I look at you and Yasser and there's people in relationships, and I'm just like, how do you do it?
Yeah, I mean,
how? To get along with people, and do you guys live together?
Mm-hmm.
You guys live together.
Yeah.
That's a whole. I've never lived with somebody.
No way.
I mean, a roommate, yes, but never someone I was.
Are you very particular about how you live? Is it,
Kind of.
Yeah, that's it. It's that judgmental thing again.
I do have judgment, and I've gotten better with it, but at the same time, I just like things to be. If the way you live is affecting me, then I've got a problem.
Yeah. Well, and the way they live will affect you.
Yes.
Constantly.
Yeah. So, and I don't feel like that is too much. That is really anything to do with judgment, unless you're just a bad person on top of doing whatever it is that's bothering me in the house. But which I have dealt with also.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I bet when you meet someone whose shit matches your shit, it'll be so easy. It'll be mind blowing. But until that happens, you'll be like, "This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me." But you know what I mean? I lived with another boyfriend before, and it was not enjoyable.
How long were you guys together?
5 years.
And how long did you live together of those 5 years?
How long did we live together? I maybe
a
a
long.
year and a half, maybe
Oh,
2
that's
years.
not that bad. I mean,
Year and a half or
that's
2 years.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I think I will say though, like when it, at year 3, it's like, well, we should probably like, if we're gonna like be together forever, I guess we should like
make
live together.
moves.
I knew I was gonna need to move cities, and so I was sort of like, we should, probably live together before we move across the country together. But it was very much a like, oh, we should do that. Like, I didn't want to. Like, I loved where I lived. I really didn't want to live together. Like, that's a sign that you should listen
Probably not do it.
Probably not do it. Oh, my God. I got this job working for Jon Stewart, and I got it really fast.
Yes.
And it came a month after he and I had a fight where it was like, we're definitely over. Like, it was fine. It was like, we need to break up. Then I got this big fancy job, and I had to move so fast, and he was like, I'm coming with you. And
Where were you from?
I was in Chicago.
In Chicago,
and
moving to New York.
Yeah. And he was like, I'm coming with you. And I was like, I really don't like
I didn't
that.
want you to. This was my out.
But you're still in it. You're still like, yeah, it was just too fast.
Yeah.
So we moved. My little brother was in New York, so he had gone to see the apartments because I had to move in like 2 weeks. So he had gone and checked out an apartment. And he was like, it was great. So all the money and stuff happened, over the internet. We, drove up, got the key. We opened the apartment door.
Oh, no.
I looked in it, and I started sobbing hysterically.
Because it was so small?
Because it was so small, and I knew I could not be in that small of a space with him. Yes. And so for the first 10 minutes of that move, I'm locked in the bathroom. I'm sobbing my heart out. And I'm sort of like, oh, of course my 24-year-old brother was like, seems good to me. But I looked at the space, and I was like, oh, we will not make it. And we absolutely did not.
How long? So he moved. He ended up moving to New York.
He moved to New York with me.
And then how long before it dissolved?
It should have happened sooner, but it was probably 7 more months.
That's a long time.
It's a long ass time. But here's the thing: John ended up wanting to work more out of New Jersey, so I moved to New Jersey during the week. So I was only even seeing him on weekends. That's how it was 7. But it was just, when you're like supposed to break up with someone, you're just like. Your brain is like, yeah, I want this to be over so bad. I mean, the moment it was over, it was just joy.
Right. It's hard.
It's hard. How do you move yourself out of something that's like
you've been so used to for so long?
Totally.
But also someone just moved with you.
Oh, I know.
There's a
even though you were like, please do not.
This was a mistake.
But it's also so crazy too because then when I met Yasser, we started living with each other almost immediately.
Oh, interesting.
Which is crazy. It took me 3 years before. Yeah.
Interesting, but I think it's one of those things like when you know, right?
Yeah, it is weird. People are like, nah, but yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever know.
You will, but you can't say shit like that. Are you as judgmental towards men's looks as you are towards your own and women's?
Here's the thing, and it's not. I don't even think when it comes to looks that it's judgment. It's just that's not my thing. Like it's it's just a preference. Like that's not because it could be a supermodel that just doesn't do it for me.
But are you turning handsome dudes? Are you like,
no, I don't even date. I don't even like handsome anymore.
You like them ugly. You're like J-Lo.
You're
like, give me a fucked up face.
But she's with A-Rod now, so that doesn't count.
She's been Casper, Mark Anthony.
Yeah, and Mark Anthony. He was,
she's got a range.
Yeah. She has a spectrum for dating. So, I've learned that the hot guys for me now are just completely off limits because I feel like they're in LA. I think LA hot guys. If I were to go somewhere else, like I bet a Seattle hot guy is different than in behavior than an LA hot guy.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I did I met a hot guy a few days ago.
Ooh, okay.
But like we did some panel thing together. It was him and then me and 2 other women. And it was such a special moment, like that whole time we did this panel and the seminar thing for people for screenwriting and stuff like that. And it was such a moment because it was all people of color for the most part. And it was just like everyone, we were helping. And it felt like there was an aura of just like love in the room. Like this is a special moment. And everyone afterwards was like, let's keep in touch or whatever. And like, so everyone followed each other on Instagram or whatever. And I followed this hot guy.
Yeah.
No follow back.
Because he's hot.
He don't have to. Yeah, he don't have to follow me back.
But Candice, what we've previously established is that you are supermodel hot, even though you refuse to acknowledge it.
I am not.
You're hot girl.
I am not.
Yeah, but you already said you have body dysmorphia, so no one believes you now.
But not severe. Just I don't look at myself and see like what was that? There was a Netflix movie. about a little fat girl, fat teenager. I forget what her name was.
Oh.
So that's what I was gonna say. I don't look in the mirror and see that.
Candice,
The movie was. I'm being
she
honest.
could be hot too. You're talking about.
She wasn't.
You're talking about normative American, European standards.
Yes, but
Those don't count.
But
They don't. They
no,
don't.
you're right. But this chick, what here? I can't remember the name of the movie. Dumpling.
Oh, that girl's gorgeous. Oh, Candice. Now I'm seeing your hateful side. Now I see you got body dysmorphia towards other people. You're looking at other people and you're like, you're a monster.
Are we talking about the same person?
You're just saying thin. That's not the same.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I was saying that when I look in the mirror, I don't see that. I don't
Right.
see that body type. So when
Yeah.
I say I have body dysmorphia, I don't see that. I'm saying I have
Oh,
mild. That's what I'm not
uh-huh.
saying she's ugly. I'm just
You're saying you got hottie dysmorphia.
maybe. I don't know what any of that. I don't know what that means. All I know is that I feel like I don't see what other people see when they look at me.
Because are other people seeing something good?
Yeah.
Then who gives a fuck what you think?
I wish I could stop caring what I think about
No.
or what I think about.
No, you can never. No one can ever to themselves. But here's what I'm gonna guess about you. You never had an ugly face growing up. Like,
I did though.
You did.
I think I did.
Oh,
Look.
no,
and
we can't. But we've already established that we cannot trust what you say about yourself.
here's why I believe, and here's why. It's because my sister growing up, you know how most of us have an ugly phase? I definitely had an ugly phase. I had an
But
ugly.
was it like, oh, my hair and my eyebrow, or were kids at school like, you fucking ugly
No,
fuck, get
I
out
didn't
of my
get
face?
called. No,
Okay, then
I just
you
had
did
an
not have an
awkward
ugly,
phase.
no,
I had
you
an
didn't
awkward phase
then
where I
you
had
didn't have an ugly
braces,
face.
and my dad told me my lips
Nah.
looked like Gary Shandling's lips.
Oh my God,
And my
no.
hair, I didn't know how to control it, and I wasn't putting heat on my hair, so I didn't know. It was just it looked like tumbleweed. And all I know is that my sister grew up being compared to Halle Berry her whole entire life. So,
Yes.
in my eyes, yes, I was like the
No,
ugly
but you
one.
didn't. You didn't. That's just growing up. An ugly phase is when people actively repel themselves from you, and then you say to yourselves, "Dear God, if I'm ever somewhat okay, so that people don't walk the fuck away from me, I swear to God, I will never take it for granted."
Yeah, I don't think I was ugly.
You were.
I wasn't ugly. I had
You
an
look like
I
Halle
call it-
Berry
I-
now.
Okay, bitch.
Oh no, she's gonna hit me, but she don't know that I got anger, and I'm gonna
I'm
hit her
gonna
back.
say- This podcast just ends with us tumbling, rolling on the floor. And all the guys are
The
watching.
likes, all of a sudden, you're like, everyone started watching it at the end. They skipped straight to the end.
They were like, catfight.
Ooh.
Did you guys see the end of Candice's podcast with Chelsea? I know, I have issues, and I hate that we have to wrap this up, and I feel like we weren't supposed to end talking about me.
Oh, I love it, though. I love it. This
We
is
were
good,
not
though.
supposed to
I hope
end this way.
leads to so many YouTube comments where 70 of them are like, I'd beat off to you any day, Candice, you're beautiful. And then I just hope 30 bitches get on there and they're like, you're right, you are ugly. And you're going to be like, no, I'm not.
I would like to you're a woman, so I would like to take a moment to talk about something. And
Yes.
I'm sure you've experienced this because
me.
you are very attractive.
Oh, my
You
God.
are a hot
From
girl.
the most judgmental woman in the world, high compliment.
I am not that judgmental.
I'm just kidding. Well, you just
I'm
said
a
you
little
didn't find
bit.
a Victoria's Secret model hot, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I wish I could show you, and you'd be like, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you know how they have models now that they just book because they're unique looking and
Yes.
not necessarily what
Sure.
it's genuinely. So I think it was one of those. Where I was
Okay,
like,
okay,
anyway,
Okay, all right. What happens to you that you want to talk
not just to me, but I'm sure this happens to a lot of women. I just want to leave on a note of we need to do better as women because I feel like we complain about men all the time.
Uh-huh.
And in the zeitgeist right now, it's like men are trash, blah, blah, blah. But I would also like to say there are a lot of women that are trash too. And I bring this up because so we were taping for Spade Show. We do a segment called Build a Comic
about?
where Spade is in the ear of someone who's never done stand-up before
Okay.
and is feeding them jokes and seeing how they perform in front of people. And the audience has no idea that Spade and another comedian, like the first time we did was Spade and Jeff Ross feeding a person lines.
Okay.
And we taped for the next time we're going to start airing these. And the chick that we brought on to do it is, I don't know if you know who Charlotte McKinney is. She's a super hot. She's like an Instagram model, actress. I mean, super hot.
Yeah.
Anyway, she gets up on stage and she got I wasn't there, but this is just word of mouth from someone, another one of the writers that was there. And apparently she got up on stage and one of the girls who was like in the front row told her boyfriend, you better not laugh at her.
No.
So now she was completely like thrown off her game, and she kind of like spent too much time
Oh
trying
my
to catering to
God.
this woman and trying to make her laugh, that she wasn't really present in the moment, and it kind of just upset
Tanked
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that she was gonna kill. She's a model. She's never done
not a
stand up before.
stand-up. Yeah.
Right. And that's not the point of this. We're not trying to get people to kill. It's just a fun thing to do. Anyway, it's a fun bit. But and I know, like, I've gone up places where I feel the energy change. Like there's a man on stage and he's getting all the laughs, and then a woman walks on stage. And I do not think that it's the men that are like, I'm not gonna laugh at this woman. I feel like a lot of the times, and it depends on what room I'm in. If it's like a sexy Hollywood room that's doing comedy and like all the women are dressed up wearing like stilettos and their tight dresses and whatever, I feel like there's an expectation. There's opposed to going in like a coffee shop in Silver Lake where everyone's like hipsters and dressed down. Like I don't really get that reaction there. But when I perform in these like sexier rooms, it's harder to get laughs from the women because there's like, it's like the Charlie McKinney experience. It's like, I'm not going to laugh at this chick because she's attractive.
That's
And
wild.
if I see you laughing at her, no, that we're going to get into an argument.
What I love about that is that in that girl's mind, she was stunning looking, but if she made him laugh, that's when his dick would get hard. Like,
Right.
Are you out of
Like
your
that's
mind?
what's gonna.
They're not. Men aren't there, but they're like, well, I hope she's funny or my boner won't work. They can move past anything.
It's like said no man ever.
Said
Right.
no man ever. Like bitch, you're out of your mind. Like,
And also, why? Yeah, Charlotte McKinney's gonna take your man. Get out of here. Like
you
you
don't
know who
want
she's
him?
dating.
yeah. I mean, that was that girl's like own severe insecurity.
For
But also, like,
sure.
if he laughs, like, are you? It's just so weird. It's like if he already wants to fuck her, like it already happened.
already exists.
It's not.
And
gonna
of course
come
he
'cause
does.
She has like a one-liner.
Right.
And his dick is like, oh, I can't help it. You know, I don't feel like I experience it more from women. I definitely experience it. It's like a woman gets on stage and everyone's
And
like,
it's the energy.
fuck you. But I don't feel it. I don't feel it's gender imbalance. I feel it's like probably half of each. Personally, that what I feel is.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's because we've just told women like if you look nice, you're for fucking. And
Right.
but also you're stupid.
Yeah.
But also you're blah 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 blah. And none of those things add up to funny. And so you get on stage and like you're just a mile behind
Right.
anyone
You're
else.
it's not a fair race because
It's
you're
not a fair
starting
race at
behind,
all.
and it's you can't say anything, and then by the time you actually do finally like win them over, if you do, it's like I've got to go now, my time's up.
Well, I will say though, I mean, you did my show. You annihilated, and I did. You did.
Thanks.
And women and men were like, she's so fucking great. It's only like certain instances, and I feel like it's but yeah, it's people dealing with their own bullshit.
For sure. And again, I think that room lended to a more friendly environment for stand-ups,
Right.
where it's like there's certain rooms that are just too sexy for comedy. Like the people there,
Yeah,
they're
oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm
Well,
too hot to laugh
I
at
think
stuff.
also like there's some woman in her seat being like, I was never told I could be funny or cool or have thoughts or ideas, and they're watching you do it, and they're like, motherfuckers, this was available. Like, yeah,
I didn't think about that.
but. Yeah, or you're up there doing jokes being like, I'm gonna blow your
Yeah,
man, gonna blow your man and your man and your man. They're all like, no, Candice.
Bitch, I don't want your man.
No, I mostly find that women always laugh at my shit and men half and half. But I'm always
Interesting.
yeah, without meaning to do it, all my shit's always for women. It's always for women. It's sometimes for men. But,
Yeah.
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 It's the other way around.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Guys, we have
You guys
to go.
please don't comment on the video.
Yeah, that'll stop them. Chelsea, this has been lovely.
This has been so much
And it
fun.
has flown by very quickly, and I apologize. I'm going to have you back on, and we'll talk about the other two struggles that you mentioned to me before we started.
What? I don't struggle with anything else.
Now I'm curious. I want to see, like, you blow up at something.
You might see it.
Not by something I did.
No.
Okay.
It'd never be you.
Good. You guys, thanks for tuning into The Struggle. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. We're on all podcast platforms. Also, rate and review us on iTunes and spread the word. If you're listening to The Struggle, pass it along. Tell somebody if we're making you laugh. You can find me at Jokes by Candice on social media, CandiceThompsonComedy.com. And don't forget to watch Lights Out with David Spade after The Daily Show on Comedy Central. Chelsea, one more
Wow.
time, where can people find you?
At Chelsea Devantez on Instagram, on Twitter, at this sweaty desk.
And Bless This Mess.
Oh, and Bless
Make sure
This
to
Mess.
watch that
ABC,
show.
Season 2. It's so funny.
You heard it here. Bye, guys.